Dre Nitty.
I'm a music artist. I own an independent record label, and I also have a graphic design and custom merchandise company where we print up whatever the artists need, from flyers to posters, stickers, cover art, everything. So come tap in.
What's the name of your company, bro?
South Inner Circle.
South End.
Inner Circle.
South End Circle.
Yep.
What's going on, everybody?
What's good, bro?
My name Darian. I go by Nine. I am a songwriter and an audio engineer. Just graduated from SAE in the summertime.
All right.
Right now, I'm interning at Icon Studios, just networking. You know, it's all about your network. I'm from College Park, Georgia, born and raised.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, bro.
My name is Christopher Jenkins, also known as Domain. I am from Warner Robins, Georgia. I am working as a music engineer. I graduated from SAE December 3rd. And starting a media production company soon. So that's all I got going on. Appreciate y'all time.
Peace Kings. My name is Osei Kweku, raised in Cleveland, Ohio. First generation, parents from Ghana, West Africa. Formerly on V103, which is why I came to Atlanta from Washington, D.C. So pretty much got my start under Donnie Simpson in D.C., interning for him, and got into the media and entertainment space because I really wanted to change the image of Black people and specifically Black men in media. I've since transitioned into working in digital media, and now I'm in the anti-racism, anti-hate space. So we travel to a number of universities, and it kind of all dovetails together with entertainment and music and what have you. So here I am.
And how you have navigated those challenges in terms of being committed to the music industry or your craft, or however you know, whether you're committed to the industry or you're committed to your craft, whatever that commitment is, how has that allowed you to overcome different challenges that you've experienced in the industry already?
Well, the first thing I always like to tell people is invest in yourself. So in the beginning, I just shopped around, paid for a lot of information, met with different record labels to see exactly how to set up my business and make sure that when I give the information out to my artists, that I'm giving them the right direction. So I always make sure that you link up with people who is bigger or better than you so you can learn. Don't have an ego when you first start. Just start somewhere and you'll find your way on the path.
I would like to say, like he said, find somebody better, find somebody that's in the position that you want to be in. It's okay getting a mentor. The main thing is don't worry about being perfect. Just try to be 1% better every day, because being perfect will keep you back from taking action. So I want to say just keep practicing on your craft. Take advice. All advice is good, whether it's criticism. When you feel like giving up, that's when you need to go harder. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you should always believe in yourself. That's my biggest thing. if this is your dream and that's your passion, that's really what you should chase after. I lived in Warner Robins, Georgia. There wasn't really a music school down there that I could go to, so I drove 100 miles one way, 200 miles every day, 4 days a week to make it happen. And like I said, I graduated. I now live in Douglasville, no longer have that commute. So I only had a 30-minute ride over here today. Nobody has to worry. But I just moved here in October, so I did a full year of doing that. And it molded me. It changed me. I was in the military. I raised my hand for that. I would still say the year I've done up and down that road avoiding Atlanta traffic is probably harder than my 4 years in the military. It was probably the most growth I've had in maturing in thought processes. Challenge yourself more. I find myself playing less GTA and more Tetris just because I want to challenge my brain. Challenge yourself more.
Yeah. I would say, and to the good brother's point here to the right of me, just doing what it takes. When he spoke about, driving the distance, I used to do that. I went to Hampton University, and I would go to, D.C. initially like 3 times a week to intern on the morning show. And I really wanted to break through, and there wasn't really a clear pathway. So, oftentimes it's just doing what it takes to get to where you want to be and not letting anything get in the way and really being committed and still humble. I would say to, our younger brothers, and particularly this generation, I've noticed I love the fearlessness. I love the willingness to pivot and go into what you want to do, but there's a way to do all things. And I say that meaning you can't come to a job and it be all good in the morning and then you quitting at lunchtime because you just don't feel like doing whatever it is you've been asked to do, or you don't like the way things are going. And I say that because no business can operate with people who are not dedicated and willing to show up. I think that, and I feel like as entrepreneurial, that spirit starts to kick in, a lot of brothers and sisters will realize that, because you can't build your business with people you can't depend on either. So it's very important to just know how that cycle works, nor can you expect someone to give you a recommendation when you're going to behave in that manner, because essentially you're just willing to torch a bridge and say, can you refer me on this next thing? And that's not the way the game works.
So one more quick question, then we'll move to the audience. Talk about careers in the music industry. So now, we have, I think I heard somebody say produce music. I know from your point, you were helping to push music. So talk about the different careers and different options that are not just from behind the mic.
Well, for one, I manage a couple artists, so being behind the scenes, it's a lot of, pressure in order to steer everybody in the right direction, keeping everybody motivated. But at the end of the day, the artist still has to want this more than I do. So management is a tough role. I do the custom designing. So I always tell artists to turn yourself into a business. So I always start with branding first. I always tell everybody music and streams really not paying as much as they think it do initially. So I always tell people to sell a product. I make a lot of my money selling merchandise or my record label. So every time I do start an artist off, I always ask them if they want to sell a product or a service in order to keep them motivated while we grinding it out.
What is managing someone? What does that involve?
Managing someone, setting up studio sessions, putting together the albums, deciding what the single should be, writing treatments for the music videos so we can make sure that we don't blow the whole budget on videos. These days, you can really do a lot by making content on your phone. So I tell people the consistency is more important than trying to get a perfect music video. if you drop a piece of content every day, that'll gain way more traction than trying to shoot a $500,000 music video and we're dropping once every 2 months. So consistency is a big part, and just making sure that all your music is registered. So I show everybody how to register your music with ASCAP or BMI. That's PRO companies that pay you your royalties. So every time my artists perform in the club or anything like that, they can go put in their performance online and get paid from that. So just making sure that they cover all their bases before they even start and make sure we getting everything.
Okay, as an audio engineer, you can, instead of doing music, we can engineer for churches, live sound, like for a concert. You can do movies, you can do audiobooks, you can do so much, man. Anything dealing with sound, you can. Like for movies, all the sounds in movies, it's somebody engineering that. It's not actually what you see the actor doing. Every noise in the movie is an engineer behind it. As far as concerts, it's somebody in the back working the board, making sure the audience get the right quality they need, making sure the performer hearing it right in the headphones. What I'm missing? I'm gonna pass it on to D-Man.
I mean, he hit the most points. That's kind of what pushed me into the love of engineering. I was an artist poet first, and the engineering side kind of gave me a trade to always be around it. So I kind of look at it as almost like a plumber, but with audio, because I can literally go and clean up the audio for an audiobook. That audience is way wider and way more vast than one studio. You can put yourself on Fiverr, all these freelancing websites where you can really build yourself a platform in your own business, in your own name. Audiobooks have probably garnered me just as much as studio sessions at this point, if I'm gonna be honest, or if not more, because it's simple. So physically, we are compressing vocals or spoken word or anything spoken in audio, sound effects, anything. So I did an audio book for a writer out of North Carolina. She has a bunch of like vampires and a bunch of other stuff going on in there. So there's a lot of action scenes, and I have to go in there, put the sounds in, sculpt the sounds, create the environment around those sounds to make sure that they don't sound out of place with the, not the author, the person speaking it, the narrator. Thank you, Brother Haru. With the narrator, and making sure that he sounds powerful and make sure he has a good strength in his voice as well. So those things are very creative. They end up being very fun. Also creating your own sound effects, Foley, being a Foley artist. Me and my family like just going in there and going by a microphone and and just making sound effects, and then I go and sculpt them and make them sound more haunting or more beautiful and angelic. And it's fun. It's a very creative lane, and it's a lot more than just going up to a microphone and rapping. It's a video games. We do all the sound in there as well. Like it's a lot more, and it's a creative, safe space to kind of just express yourself.
I think that audio engineering is probably one of the more stable industries associated with music and entertainment. I left radio and got involved and got my first label deal in 2009, and Being a manager is very difficult. It's one of the most challenging things ever. I tell you, if you are going to align with someone who is seeing themselves as the talent, I think the most important thing you can do as a talent is be unselfish and know that any moves that you decide you're going to make have an implication on everybody associated with you. Right now, where we are, music is kind of taking a bit of a turn. It's the labels are kind of fading away. The streaming was always very fuzzy, so that money was always very, very hard to really calculate.
Well, I came in the game, never wanted to be an artist, always wanted to be behind the scenes. That was kind of my calling anyway. And my mentors and the people who I ended up working with kind of inspired me to stay in that lane because they were so successful being behind the scenes. So I started my career with Quincy Jones, late Quincy Jones at this point. I hate to even say that, but he saw something in me, and as a musician and as a composer, he pulled me into his ecosystem. And all of the brothers that I've met down through the years who have been extremely successful in this business, they are able to maintain their freedom. They don't have to, they can go to the grocery store without people knowing who they are. They can make a whole lot of money and remain anonymous if they so choose. And so I've always loved that role. Me personally, I also engineer too. So one of the things that I will say about being behind the scenes is that we have an app. It's called Rap Plug. You can check it out, but we've identified 50 different music industry careers that don't require a microphone in your hand at all. And so we market that towards APS, towards private schools, after-school programs. We work very closely with a lot of organizations. We're in the middle of a big event, a partnership now with 100 Black Men. And so we're just really proud of that work. The people that we have on our site have worked with everybody from, including myself, Kanye, SZA, Beyonce, Rihanna, NBA YoungBoy, Lil Baby, you name it. And so we are very proud of the group that we've brought together of very smart brothers and sisters that we've partnered with. And like I said, you can find out a whole lot more about us online than you can in this room because we don't have enough time tonight. But I'd like to do another event with you all where we can actually activate 30 or 40 of the brothers and sisters to have just come in and have a speed conversation, not a speed, but a office hours kind of conversation with you all and really explain to you what everybody does, because it takes a lot of conversations to really be had to do that.
For sure. I don't know if y'all heard that. 50 different careers that are not from behind the mic that people make a whole lot of money in, right? Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, my name is the Ear Doctor. I pretty much started throwing parties in college. Went from throwing parties in college, opened up a pizza place, had music playing there, and then I went from doing that to having a thing called MC War, where I have MCs in the ring battling each other. So all these different things happen around music by me creating some type of job from it. After that, I got into DJing weddings, being on the radio, WRFG 89.3, radio personality. Went from there to COVID came. I had to start learning how to do something else besides DJing, so I got into the podcasting. Had a studio over at the Met and got to work with 85 South Show for 3 years, doing the audio for them. And then just kept doing podcasts. Then did it with Renegade Culture for 3 years. Then, had with Minister Server. And then also now I have a Black Liberation Media, and it's doing podcasts, putting other people's podcasts on. At the same time, I do an after-school program teaching kids how to do podcast production and DJing. So all these different things I do, DJing, production, audio engineering, all this stuff could be done without touching a microphone and rapping around.
I believe in this chair. I believe in this chair. It won't break here. It won't break here. I believe in this chair. I believe in this chair. It won't break here. It won't break here. We are links in this chair. We are links in this chair. It won't break here. It won't break here. I said.